This year, TF2 will turn 15 years old. Now, TF2 has definitely gone through a lot, but these last 2 years have been especially tough. So in this video, I'll be discussing what TF2 will be like in 2022, and more focusing on the dark side of things, and figuring out if this is a game that you should start playing or that you should continue playing in 2022. But first, a quick word about our sponsor. I started playing Hero Wars. If you like an online action game with a variety of PvP and PvE modes, I think you will love Hero Wars. This game has more than 50 unique heroes, each one having its unique abilities, making this game fun and exciting. Using the 50 heroes, you can create teams to battle in the arena, or conquer the Endless Tower. But my favorite part of Hero Wars? Well, that has to be the online aspect, as you can create guilds, fight with other players, and constantly rise in rank. Join the game using the link in the description and get a super chest with a secret hero, as well as 62 emeralds and 30,000 gold. Hero Wars is available on mobile devices, but also runs in the web browser. Scan this QR code on screen or download the game using the link in the description. I'll see you there. So coming back from the sponsored break, let's talk about Team Fortress 2. Now this video, I'll be doing my best to provide an honest insight of my perspective of Team Fortress 2 in 2022, and what you may notice when playing it this year. So right now, TF2 is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one side we have Valve, who is ignoring and neglecting the game, and the other side we have bots who are running circles around it, ruining our games. It's sort of like two negative forces colliding, creating one big explosion of an unplayable casual game mode. And when I say unplayable, I mean that you spend half the game figuring out who's a bot or a cheater and kicking them, rather than just actually playing their bloody game. For those of you who don't know, TF2's anti-cheat system is completely fucked. And when I say that, I don't mean there's like one or two cheaters running around not getting banned. I mean nearly all of the modern cheating clients have something called a VAC bypass, and VAC is a system that Valve uses to ban cheaters. And all these cheaters have to do is press one button and boom, not detected. And this isn't just something recent or new, this has been happening for years. The only way to actually have some enjoyment from playing Team Fortress 2 and to avoid these cheaters and bots in every server is to play on community servers. Like at this point, the TF2 community is doing things better than Valve themselves are doing it. And that's just something that really shouldn't be happening considering how big Valve is. TF2 mods became a pretty big thing over 2020, especially with how unplayable TF2 was due to bots. Everyone was seeking to get that TF2 experience, but somewhere else, somewhere where they could be safe from bots and cheaters and all the drama going around Team Fortress 2. So people went to things like Open Fortress and TF2 Classic, which unfortunately last year was shut down by Valve. Now, it's very unclear on what's going on. Apparently they're working with Valve to do something, but they weren't getting responses from Valve. And knowing Valve, they're probably going to have nothing happen in the near future, which is definitely disappointing how Valve, for one, won't fix their own game, but for two, will ruin the community's hard work creating mods so people can actually get that experience once again. Honestly, this game feels like it's running on life support, and Valve is pulling out the plugs one by one, only ever caring about the game when it's something completely critical or something that's hurting their own pockets. Valve's initial response to the bots is, in my opinion, extremely greedy. Instead of actually finding a proper solution to the problem and banning them, they decided to mute all free-to-play players and tell them that, hey, you can't talk in game. Hey, you can't use voice lines. A game which was once freely accessible to players and that allowed everyone to have a good gaming experience whether you pay or not, turned into a game where you have to pay to press a button to call for a medic. And we damn well know Valve profited a shit ton from that. Now, I'm about to drop a big truth bomb about the TF2 community. Are you ready for it? Well, you better be, because a lot of the Team Fortress 2 community don't even play the game anymore. They're people who've played it once in the past, or the people who want to play the game but can't play it. I run a TF2 Discord server which has around 11,000 members, and I'm telling you, from talking to the people in there, a lot of them are people who are fans of Team Fortress 2, but don't actually play it due to how bad the gameplay currently is with bots, and how toxic some other sides of the community is. Now, this shows a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing it shows is that Team Fortress 2 obviously is strong enough to build a community around it, and it's interesting enough and gripping enough to actually make you keep wanting to talk about and engage with the community even when you're not playing it. But the bad thing that it shows is that people who even are fans of this and who love the game can't even play it and can't even enjoy it, just simply due to the state it's currently in and that it's been in for the past 2 years. As someone who's played Team Fortress 2 since 2011, I can tell you, the only thing keeping me around this game is the community and my YouTube channel. It's something I've grown up on, it's something I've been doing for so long that I just simply can't stop. But if I was a new player coming to Team Fortress 2 for the first time, I open up casual and the first game I get into is just full of bots, I would just leave right away. I wouldn't open this game up again, and I wouldn't sink 3,000 hours in that I have right now. I'm sure many of you wouldn't either. Now, some people you meet will say that Team Fortress 2 has the most lovely and best community ever, and other people you'll meet will say, hey, TF2's community absolutely sucks. And this is mainly due to one thing: who you surround yourself with. I've been told by a lot of my friends who are LGBT, trans, or even just new players that they get discriminated a lot in game. They get kicked for their profile pictures, their names, or even just their voice. And this is by no means something unique to Team Fortress 2, this happens across gaming as a whole. But I do find it very interesting how polarizing it is between the opinions, of some saying, hey, this game has the nicest community, and others being like, it's living hell. Something I've noticed a lot in the TF2 community is that there's almost a constant circle jerk about people hating Valve. Now, I'll admit, I'm definitely a part of this circle jerk because I'm definitely pissed off with how TF2 is being treated, and I think most TF2 fans are. But it sort of creates this negative vibe around the game and makes it look like the community is full of people complaining and whining about things, and it makes it less welcoming to newer players. I mean, I've noticed a very similar thing with Titanfall 2, for example. I've never actually played the game, but I've seen so many negative comments and negative reports about how the game is being ran and treated that at this point, I don't even want to bother trying it. Team Fortress 2 is a better TF2, by the way. But overall, on the community side, TF2 still has pretty high player counts, and some say this might be because of the bots, because there's more bots running around, but I think the game genuinely is getting more attention than it was in the past. And what's interesting about this is that it's doing this with almost zero promotion from Valve. It's been years since Valve's actually done a promotional campaign for Team Fortress 2, but it seems like the game's getting the most advertising and the most traffic from YouTube videos, because for some reason, YouTube absolutely loves Team Fortress 2. And TF2 videos definitely get promoted outside of the TF2 fanbase, introducing newer players and people who have never even seen the game before into Team Fortress 2. And I think that's also how a lot of you might have found TF2. You might have seen a video somewhere or a meme relating to the characters. TF2 is everywhere in the internet culture, and when I say everywhere, I seriously mean everywhere. There's not a day that goes by without a TF2 meme spreading into another community. I mean, look at Zealot, for example. He's a TF2 Shorts channel who has got 55 million views in the past 30 days. That's an insane amount of people, and that's definitely not just Team Fortress 2 fans. There's also been an influx of higher quality TF2 content. For example, El Maxo, Great Blue, or Octo. And these people are definitely pulling in some pretty big view counts as well. I guess one of the positive things about TF2 having daddy issues and getting no updates from Valve is that the game always feels like TF2. You could look at a recording of this game from 5 years ago and not notice a difference from a recording of the game today. It just seriously hasn't changed that much, and we've had no real major updates for years. Now, some see this as a positive, some see this as a negative. Personally, I enjoy having new content and different things to play with and make videos on, but hey, other players just might be wanting that same experience every time they play. I think the trick to enjoying Team Fortress 2 is to come into the game expecting nothing, because if you come in expecting nothing, you'll be given the best experience. But if you come to the game expecting high quality matches and no bots and cheaters, well, you'll be very, very disappointed. So if you aren't prepared to lower your standards from those AAA titles you like playing, then don't bother playing Team Fortress 2 at all. If you want to keep up with Team Fortress 2 content, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.